Hello everyone, Paul here at the studio. I wanted to show you this time this short track I've made recently. It was inspired by adventure pirates movie, things like old Korngold, Heinrich Korngold soundtrack for Sea Oaks or Captain Blood, or more recent adventure movie like Indiana Jones, things like that. So I tried to capture that old school golden age Hollywood style. That means these tracks revolve for the most part around orchestral element. Let's hear the final result first, then I go through my process. It is called At Sea Atlas and it sounds like this. So let's go through the strings first. As you can see here, most of the strings are from Cinematic Studio series. The only exception are here an instance of Symphobia 2 legato violins played in octave. The idea here was to double the violins and straighten the melody a bit. As you can see, the track is divided in three parts. We have this intro here, which is more like an ambient build up. You have the main orchestral, burst where everyone is playing together, and you have this outro from here where things get calm again. I figured out that during our main orchestral part, it was divided in two halves. The first half is a bit less aggressive and full as the second half. So I've used Symphobia 2 and some other elements to straighten up this part. The other element I've used is this ensemble strings. Again, it's Symphobia 1. It sounds like this. So you can hear that even if a lot of strings are already playing here, the fact that we had a chord underneath everything straighten up and glue everything together. I wanted also to solo the main melodic line so you can see and hear exactly how I use the mod wheel, and I will also add my sustain pedal here so you can see how I've used mod wheel and the sustain pedal to create this moving melodic line. So it sounds like this. The second violin are playing the exact same thing but an octave above. our cellos and violas are playing the same thing in unison, and they are playing like another melodic line just to, sing with our main high melody, and it sounds like this. As you can hear, now let's move on to our brass. Our brass are mainly playing the same thing as the violins. If I remember correctly, I add a bit of movement here and there. I've changed some notes, to create a more harmonized passages. But as I wanted everything to be, cohesive and write the cleanest track I could, I didn't want to everyone plays on thing and things started to getting muddy. I was focusing on one melodic line, trying to highlight it as best as I could, but from time to time I've used other notes to highlight an instrument, and you will hear that with the trumpets, and especially the solo trumpet that kicks around here. Let's hear the result. At the end of our phrase, the two are playing different notes, again to add a bit more textural element. Horns and bones are also playing almost the same melodic line, but there are a few differences here and there just to add a bit of movement. It sounds like this. And finally, I've used Symphobia 1 brass long ensemble patch. The same way I've used Symphobia strings ensemble, it's straighten everything up and glue all these instruments together. The final touch here is this sound design instrument by Audio Imperia's Poseidon. If I remember correctly, the idea of this track came from this user interface, which inspired me this aquatic or sea adventure pictures, and I wanted to build something around it. So there is only one instance of Poseidon in the final track that you can hear at the very end of the track. Woodwinds are playing almost the same thing as the brass or the strings. I don't remember exactly which part I give to the flute and which part I gave to the oboe, but they are here to straighten everything up. It sounds like this. Now, if we look at our percussion, we have some different elements here. As you can see, we have a bunch of Pandora adaptive synth patch for the grand casa and the cymbals. Our timpani are from Nucleus. A lot of things are from TrueStrikes by Project Sam. It sounds like this. And the rest of our percussion elements are from in-session audio, like my good old world percussion creator, which brings this world adventure flavor to the track. I've also had a bit of Taikos. And a good old shaker. Our final folder is this synth folder. To be honest, I called it synth, but as you can see, it contains more than just a synth element. It has this bass, for example, the choir is here too, some world, strings, instrument, and winds instrument are here as well. So as I'm lazy, I just leave it as synth, but I should have split it into different folder. For this track at least it works, and you can hear the usual sine wave bass to just straighten our bass chord a bit. The choir is from Chorus by Audio Imperia, sounds like this. This cool instrument here is called Chronicles Mitra. It's by Evolution series, and it has this, rhythmic strings, they're mainly Middle Eastern instrument, and it sounds like this. And finally, we have two wind instruments here, a Duduk and a Shakuhachi. They are both from Ventus by Impact Soundworks, and they add this little extra melodic line at the very end of our track. Regarding the mix, nothing fancy here. I've just used a compression on the percussion bus. Everything else is just as it is. There's some EQ here and there, especially to tame the lowest frequency and avoid the overall mix to sound too muddy. Regarding our mastering, again, pretty basic. The OTT multiband compressor to add a bit of hair at the very top frequencies. Another multiband compression, now to be more precise and very gently get rid of the frequency I don't want. Another EQ just to control some of the frequency, but as you can see, I got very gentle with it. Add a tiny bit of air here, get rid of some of the muddiest frequencies around 1K and get rid of some of the extra low end here. A stereo widener plugins, it is called Wider, it is free from Polyverse. As you can see, I barely touch it. It is going very gently, expanding the stereo field of the track. And my limiter just around 6 dB of extra output, and I control everything by just setting the final output level to minus 0.1 dB, just to make sure that everything stay in its place. I think that's it for this track. I hope you like the result. If you do, please consider subscribe, and I see you for the next one. Bye!